All right, guys, I'm going to help you a little with your homework. This is actually going to be the first few questions that we're going to do together right now. So I want to make sure that we get off to the right start on this assignment, but I also want to make sure that we are still using a piece of paper and writing things down on these practices and labeling them like I showed you way at the beginning. I know some of you are still doing that really well. Some of us have slipped a little bit and stopped writing our work down, and that is reflecting in your scores. Your guys' scores drop when you stop writing stuff down. So get out a piece of paper, get a pencil, and we are going to label our paper, and we're going to do the first 4 problems, maybe 5, we'll see. First 4 problems together that you're going to do on your practice. And here we go. So on the top of your paper, please label it. This quiz is called EE. What does EE stand for? Oh, I still haven't even told you that other E yet, have I? You know, one of them's expressions. I thought I was going to tell you today, but no, not yet. So EE.1b, this is called simplifying expressions 1. Simplifying expressions 1. Why is it called that? Well, because there's going to be another one. Because this is a very important piece of this standard. It's a very important skill, algebraic skill that you guys take with you well beyond 7th grade. Something we really need to know how to do. So the very first question on this quiz, as soon as you click take the quiz, you will see a problem that says simplify, and then it gives you this expression. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. This is question number 1. We're going to get a few answers written down, and then you'll go back and type them in Canvas, so this will help get some of them finished for you. We look for like terms, and we pay really close attention to the signs. So I see 3x. I don't see any other terms with an x on them, so that must be the only x. These, however, are constant terms, meaning terms with no variable, and constant terms are always like terms and can always be combined. Now, some students like to rewrite it as soon as they write it on their paper. Instead of -3, they just rewrite it as plus a -3, and that helps their brain process the signs. That's perfectly acceptable and a good idea to do. You do want to get to a place, though, where you're a little more efficient at it, and you can just see, okay, whatever's directly in front of it, right to the left of it, tells me whether it's positive or negative. So this is a +9, and this is a -3. +9, -3. Or you can rewrite it like this if that helps you see it better. But you must know what those signs are so that you can say, okay, I'm going to copy the 3x because nothing combines with it. And then you say different signs subtract. Take the sign of the one that goes farther. And this is a question that comes up that I want to make sure we're really clear on. That means I'm going to have +6. So I'm going to write +6. Your terms in an expression have to be connected with pluses or minuses. You don't just write them next to each other. They fit together as an expression, but they're connected with plus or minus, add or subtract. So how do you know? Well, if it's positive, you write plus. If it's negative, you write minus. Do I keep going here and write equals 9x? Do you have 9x's? No, you do not. So don't call that 9x's. It's not 9x's, it's 3x's plus 6 ones. So guess what? You have simplified the expression. That's all you can do. Let's keep going. Question number 2 says m plus 4n. The mistake students make on this one is they want to tell me the answer is 4n because they don't see a number in front of that. Doesn't that seem a little weird to you that I'd have an m plus more m's and end up with just 4 m's again? Remember, there is always a coefficient. If it's not written there, it's a 1. Mathematicians like to write as little as possible because they try to be really efficient at things. So they just assume if there's not a 1 there, you just know. They didn't write it, but it's there. It's always there. So 1m plus 4m is actually 5m. Now, when you go back and type these into Canvas, please make sure, first of all, that you pay attention to the letter. If you accidentally type an X instead of an M, you'll get it wrong. Also, on these with more than one term, so like this one on Canvas, you just literally type in 5M. Lowercase, everything, don't capitalize anything, you'll get it wrong. Also, when you type these things in with more than one term, There is a plus button on your keyboard. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll show you. It's up next to the numbers. Usually have to push Shift plus. And then just use the letter and make sure you don't put any spaces. No spaces. If you put spaces in there, you'll get it wrong. So just to avoid that, I just wrote on there no spaces at all. It'll look a little squishy when you type it in, but you literally type in 3, lowercase x, the plus sign, and then 6. No spaces at all. Just type it straight across. Okay? All right, question number 3. Let's just do 2 more together. Number 3 says 7r plus 7 plus 1 plus 5r. The first thing I notice about this expression, and I hope you notice it too, is that everything is positive. Take a look at that and make sure your brain is processing that everything here is positive. Okay, that's helpful, makes things simpler, but it's a thing we have to notice and process. The next thing I see is that I have like terms there. Positive 7r and positive 5r. So I'm going to combine those and make them 12r. Here's another thing I like to do to keep track of my expressions in the work that I've done is I sometimes will cross them off after I've combined them. And that also helps me notice, ooh, did I miss an R? Did I get them all? But that helps me know I took care of those terms. Now, right here, I have constant values. They have no variables, which makes them like terms. So same signs add, keep the common sign. That's a positive 8, so I write plus 8. Do I put those together, you guys? No, I absolutely do not, because I don't have 20 R's. I only have 12 of them and 8 ones. So that is as far as I can go simplifying it. All right, last one we're going to do together. Number 4. Number 4 says 2b minus 3 plus 2b. Oh, look at that. I have a positive 2b there and a positive 2b there. Is your brain processing that those are positives? So put them together and I get 4b, and nothing combines with that, so I just copy it. Now, this is the moment I want to make sure you guys understand. I'm going to write some more expressions here, and you worked with equivalent expressions. I want to know if these are the same. So we know this is the correct answer. If you type that in Canvas, you'll get it correct. No spaces, lowercase b, 4b minus 3, okay? But there is one more of these that you could also type in and it would be correct. Here is what matters. The 4 has to be positive and the 3 has to be negative. So take a look at this one. Is the 4 positive? No, the 4 is negative. And the 3 is positive. So you guys, don't type that, don't type it, you can't just swap them like that. It doesn't work, no good. Don't type that in, that's not the correct answer. What about this one? Look at this, the 3 is negative and the 4 is positive. Guess what? This one's good too. And I made sure that in Canvas, if you type it in a different way than me, but if you keep the signs correct, so you can switch around the order as long as you don't switch around the signs, Canvas will mark it correct. So you could type in 4b minus 3, or you could type in negative 3 plus 4b, and those are the same. Is this one the same? No. That one switched the signs. No good. Okay, don't type any spaces. Watch the letter. What you're going to do now is you're going to click on Take My Quiz, or I always forget what it says on that blue button. Take the quiz. You already have the first 4 done, so go back through in Canvas and practice typing them in. And then right here, keep going. Number 5, write it down, simplify it, type in your answer. If you have any questions, please let me know.